What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about stellar lumens today, XLM. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 14th day of September, but not for long. We got about 3 minutes left in this day, in this week as well. Sitting here at 39 cents. We do have a solid wick to the upside this week, and that's not ideal. You'd like to see this week close with more of a body instead of a wick. Typically, when you get wicks for stellar lumens, that does promote lower price action over the coming weeks. But we'll see. Let's look at the short-term stuff. We'll see if we can figure out where this thing's going. Again, if that sounds good to you, hit that like button. Let's get into it, okay? 1 hour time frame here. I have to say the market as a whole is looking pretty robust. Today is a little bit of a setback, but I think that's okay. 1 hour time frame looking like the RSI is bearish overall, right? Flipped from getting overbought and staying above the 50 to now you're getting oversold and staying below the 50, rejecting the 50. Might come down a little bit more. Maybe you form some bullish divergence, in which case you would see a close on a 1 hour time frame below about 38.7 cents there, 38.69 cents. Once you close below there, then you'll have some bullish divergence set up, and maybe that's your low. You could see something where it's a close below, but it's still a higher low. You could close below and maybe you wick below, but you close down here. Some kind of form of bullish divergence, though, is what I would expect. Your stochastics do look bearish as well. I don't like the cross here, but I didn't like the cross there either, and you still continue to move up. So Stellar's being a little bit tricky. I wouldn't fall for that, at least that alone. I would expect to go lower just because of the RSI, though. The MACD looks all right, but overall it's kind of bearish, so I'm not really too excited about it. It's the 1 hour time frame. The MACD is less reliable on the 1 hour. Let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hour does look a little bit more bearish on the price action here. 1 minute left with a big wick to the upside, looking like you want to come down. Finding resistance here. Not really at a significant area, but that's okay. Semi-significant maybe. Let's look at this on a fib perspective. Low to high. 382 for support. Couldn't even get to the 236. That is bearish. If you return to the 382, I would very much anticipate that you see a 37.7 cent price, maybe even a 37 cent price itself to 36.5 cents, somewhere down there. And that's not the worst thing, man. I mean, you could come down. You're finding support here now, which is nice at prior resistance, but your support's not supporting. You feel me? And you're probably going to come down to your 0.5, right in the heart of this area, right at prior areas of support here even, finding support right there at the 0.5. If you don't find support there, it's only because you've gone lower to the golden ratio, in which case you do have prior resistance here that you could find support at. How much of a percentage drop is that? I'm just kind of curious. 5%, 6%? I mean, I could see it happening, man. That's a pretty modest drop, and we are coming to the beginning of a new week. And typically, whenever you start a new week, if you want it to be green, ideally you'll have a little bit of red to start the week, right? Let's just look at this real quick. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. It's superstition, but it's a statistically backed superstition. The majority of candles that are green have wicks to the downside. With that being said, some of the more notable candles don't really have wicks to the downside, do they? These larger candles don't. And then stellar lumens actually seems to be pretty prone to not having wicks to the downside. But typically, that's what you expect. I would say if we're looking at all these green candles, most of them, the majority of them do have wicks to the downside. But these more significant candles definitely don't, or they have very minor wicks at the most. So perhaps we don't drop as far down as I was just considering. Perhaps it's a little bit more mild. Perhaps we do what I was saying at first, which is on the 1 hour time frame, we get that bullish divergence by moving just a little bit lower. We do get that double bottom off the 382, find support here, and then move up. I don't know. It's not common. Typically, you find support at the 382, you go up to the 236, and then you come back down. If you can't even get to the 236, that would make me think that we go lower. But anything could happen. If we do go lower, I wonder what this would do right here. Would it be an ABC correction, maybe? That'd take you right to the heart of the golden ratio. I'm just saying, man. At this point in time, I have to admit, I'm not convinced that we go down to the golden ratio, but a 37 cent to a 36.5 cent price is more than possible and totally acceptable. It's fine if we go down there, okay? We're at 38.9 cents now, basically 39 cents. I'm going to call for the price to go anywhere from about 38.5 cents to 37.8 cents. But if I'm wrong and we go lower, then 37 to 36.5 cents is a totally appropriate target area to consider for support, okay? 4 hour time frame here. We do have lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price. It's hidden bullish divergence. That is a good thing. Stochastics look like they want to come up. That's a good thing too. And the MACD's dying off in bearish momentum. I don't know. Again, things kind of look like they want to go lower as far as the price action is concerned, but these indicators make me think that you want to move up soon. So there's a really solid chance that you do hold support here at this 38.5 cent, 38.6 cent area. But time will tell. We'll see. I do like these indicators. Overall, very bullish on all of them. But time will tell. We'll see. Let's see how today goes. It is the beginning of a new week. Again, you might see the day start off to the downside. Like the 1 hour looks a little bit bearish, so maybe we start the day off on the downside, but the 4 hour looks bullish. The daily looks bullish. Perhaps we finish the day on a green note. That is a pretty bearish setup right there too. I mean, you have this solid body up, doji candle, and a very solid body down. What do we have whenever it comes to volume? Let's look at this on Binance. Not that much volume though, which is good. That's good. All right, so let's see here. High to low. Do I want that low? I'm going to put it at this low. 37.8 cents. Yeah, we're making more sense out of that 38 cent, 38.5 cent, just below 38 cent area, definitely. The fact that the stochastics came out of the overbought zone makes me think that we would go to the 50. So it's very possible today does close red. Okay. I would think that we go a little bit lower from here, but just a little bit, and then we bounce. Okay. Going into the 16th and the 17th, I think we'd be moving up. MACD is at an area to reject. You don't want to do that. So one day of red isn't going to kill you, but you do want this week to overall be productive so you can push these oscillators through the zero. You don't want to reject the zero. That's not a good thing when you reject the zero, okay? Anybody can take a rejection, but whenever you reject the zero on the MACD, that's not a good thing, especially on the daily time frame. The RSI overall is bullish. I do like it. Overall, you're in a bullish posturing. I got no worries there. And the stochastics too are overall bullish. What we're looking for is a bounce off the 50 for the stochastics. We don't want to go all the way to the oversold zone. And what we're looking for from the MACD is that we continue to go up. But other than that, guys, I think things look pretty damn good. We'll see. I want to look at, oh, is that the right high? I guess I had the wrong high on there. Yeah, there we go. Brings it up a little bit more to 38 cents. That's fine. That's more appropriate, I think. Overall, it looks like a giant bull flag, does it not? Like this right here, it just looks like a bull flag. That's all it is. And if it is a bull flag, whenever we break out, we should be moving up to new relative highs, probably new all-time highs altogether soon enough. We look at this on a weekly time frame. You can see that you're bouncing off the 50. That's a very bullish signal, okay? 2 weeks in a row green, continuing this bounce off the 50. That's awesome. Same thing on the stochastics. Again, this is exactly what we're looking for on the daily time frame, right? We want to come down to the 50 and bounce off of it. It's okay if we come down now, but then close the week strong, because if we come down now, the week will be red at first. You might come down a little bit on the stochastics, but then if the week finishes strong and it closes green, you'll further this bounce off the 50 and on the daily time frame too. And on the weekly RSI. Very bullish stuff. I love the MACD right here. This is actually right where you'd want to find support, right? Touching tips like that and then bouncing, you do that, and that's typically a very bullish thing, a very healthy thing. So you're at a place where you'd want to see continuation on all these fronts, and I think that you will. I think that if you were to go lower, you would have done it already, but time will tell. You're in a very bullish kind of configuration here. Let's look at the monthly time frame, and then we'll wrap this up, all right? Maybe we'll look at this with an all-time historical perspective, so we get the all-time high in there. Come on now. Hello from the other side. This is that was a song that they sang today in church. I was not expecting that. Me and my wife were thrown off by that a little bit, but they did a good job, man. They did a really good job, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I like that version more than Adele's version. But shout out to Adele on that note. 39 cents. 39 cents right now. 886 rejection. Golden ratio support. You look like you are set, man. Beautifully set. You look phenomenal. Genuinely phenomenal. I would very much expect that we see new all-time highs here pretty damn soon. By the end of the year, we should be at targets that are all the way up at like 245 or higher. If not by the end of October. This thing can move very fast. We've seen it happen before. The reason why you moved so fast here was because, I mean, you've already made this move before. You've already made these movements, and clearly you want to go to the upside. So the decision's been made. The accumulation's been made. The people who want to buy this thing in this range, they've done so already. The people who wanted to sell and get out, they've done so already. So you really don't have a whole lot of chop to cut through when it comes to the upside. I really wouldn't be surprised at all if you're all the way up at like 245 or thereabouts by the end of October, and very likely higher than that by the end of the year. But at a bare minimum, by the end of the year, I think 246 is an acceptable target. Going from there, you know, anything from around like $4.10 to maybe $5, sure, that's an acceptable target. As high as $8 to $10 possibly, maybe that $8 area. Typically with the golden ratio, I like to find resistance right at it. I don't know if I expect that we're all the way at 846 by the end of the year, But I do think that by the end of the cycle, sometime at the end of Q1 or Q2 2026, I think that that's a appropriate kind of timeline for something like this. Stellar could absolutely see a $22 to $33 price by the end of the cycle. Absolutely. I think 30 is getting a little bit out there, but 20 bucks or more is very, very possible. If we're looking at this here from a relative high to low from last cycle, that would put you right above your 2272, and typically you do go just above your 2272 if you see new cycle highs from your prior cycle. So prior cycle highs here, new cycle highs here, just above the 2272 lines up with the 1886. That $17.50 to $22 area is totally appropriate to estimate as a all-time high area for this cycle. If not there, then I think we nailed it with 846. I mean, that's a perfect like average for what the average altcoin's going to do in the top 100. It's a little bit above average even. So something between 846 and $22. I know it's a big range, but that's not the end of the year stuff. That's end of Q2, at the earliest end of Q1 stuff. Okay, I think end of this year will be somewhere between about $2.45 to $5 if I really had to guess. Okay. 39 cents now. We got a lot of growth to go, you guys, and not a whole lot of time to do it. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, overall, this consolidation phase looks beautiful. I want to look at the ribbons. We've been looking at the ribbons all day, so let's do it for this one as well. I mean, it's impressive that you crossed down and you came back up to cross up. This kind of signals a false cross with stellar lumens. I think that makes sense, though, right? That definitely exemplifies what we experienced here in this consolidation range, right? How many people wrote off stellar lumens because it didn't see a new all-time high last cycle? How many people wrote it off? And now everybody's talking about it after this, right? I wrote it off. I definitely did not expect that it was going to come back. That's the death of coins, man. But hey, it came back. There's no denying it now. It's coming back. Look at how positive you are on your RS or on your ribbon here, your MA ribbon, your EMA ribbon. The reaction that you're having is beautiful. It's fantastic. You're absolutely going to continue to grow. Right? You're still very condensed. You've yet to expand. I don't think your expansion is going to look like last cycle. I think it's going to look more like this cycle. You're going to see some crazy growth, you guys, in a very short amount of time. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.